Elon Musk has had a bizarre 24 hours. Yesterday, Elon Musk was under attack by every major group, every Jewish group, every human rights group. It seemed like major corporations were all coming after Elon Musk for his anti Semitism. And look, it was correct to attack Elon Musk for his anti Semitism. What he did was, and this is something Elon Musk often does, Elon will hit the like button, he'll hit the retweet button, he'll hit the repost button for content that he thinks is interesting or engaging. But the way that he does it, and this is what makes him interesting, is he won't usually say anything. He'll just repost or hit the like button. But again, the dude has billions of followers. He's Elon Musk. He owns the damn platform. So in that context, of course, Elon Musk is going to garner a certain kind of attention, a certain kind of power from it. But yesterday, I guess he was on one. Elon Musk turned it up a notch. He didn't just hit the like button. He didn't just repost or retweet or whatever you want to call it now. Instead, Elon Musk actually followed up the comment with a actual comment of his own. He wrote, "You have said the actual truth." Now, let me tell you what the post said. On Wednesday, someone made a post. We used to call them tweets. Now they call them posts. They made a post that said that Jewish communities, quote, have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, this post also referenced, quote, hordes of minorities. These ain't even dog whistles, right? These is beyond dog whistles. These is full blown trumpets, right? Uh, Hordes of minorities that were flooding the West, that were doing awful things in our countries. Now, let's be clear. This is a deeply anti Semitic conspiracy theory. There are many anti Semitic conspiracy theories about cabals of power, about controlling global finance. These are all evil myths and lies that have been used to harm, to isolate, to do great damage to Jewish brothers and sisters for centuries, right? But this particular one is one that is not only long-standing, uh, but it's sort of building back up again. And the idea of this anti-Semitic conspiracy theory is that Jewish people want to bring undocumented minority populations into Western countries like the UK, like France, like Germany, like America, in order to reduce the number of white majorities in those nations. Again, it's the idea that Jews are conspiring to destroy white people. Now, you might say, well, what's the harm in that? It's just wrong. Well, it's wrong, but it's also deeply harmful. It's harmful because it subjects Jewish people to unfair, undue scrutiny. It blames them for the life outcomes of white people in ways that then rally quote unquote white hate against Jewish populations, and it inspires people to violence. If you remember back in 2018, the Tree of Life synagogue was attacked. It was a mass. There was a mass shooting inside of the synagogue, and the person who did it, Robert Bowers, wrote a note, and in the note, one of the things he said, and he wrote it on his, I believe it was his Facebook, it was definitely a social media post. He said that a particular Jewish nonprofit organization that was helping refugees was actually trying to bring invaders into the country that kill people. Ironically, this sick person, this evil anti-Semitic sick person that killed 11 people inside of a synagogue, was actually saying that Jewish people were trying to create harm and to kill people. So this is the backdrop to why this is such an ugly thing to do. Elon Musk doesn't say all that. He simply reposts somebody who is saying that kind of stuff. And he writes, "You have said the actual truth." Now, usually when he throws his rocks and hides his hands, people complain, people get mad, people get hurt. But what they don't do is act. Well, I guess people had enough, particularly after October 7th, because people were coming at Elon Musk before October 7th, myself included, and we'll talk about that. But on this date, they had enough. Apple said, "We are not going to advertise on Twitter." Now, Twitter's already bleeding money, or X, whatever you want to call it now, is bleeding money. Elon Musk managed to take something that was worth tens of billions of dollars and cut its value like in more than in half, I believe. So you're talking about a huge failure already. But advertising is how they make their money. And now Apple says, "We're not going to advertise with you anymore." And if it was just Apple, they might be okay, even though Apple's a big chunk. Comcast pulls out. Disney pulls out, the European Commission pulls out, IBM pulls out, Lionsgate pulls out, Paramount pulls out, Warner Brothers pulls out. They all say we are not going to support Elon Musk anymore because his anti-Semitic behavior has gone from low-key subliminals to high-key vocal calling for violence against Jewish people. Now, somebody wrote in here, by the way, Sherry Ashley, thank you for the donation. Heidi, thank you so much for the love. Kaz DST87, I appreciate it as well. I want to appreciate everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody who has dropped a super chat, who has dropped a donation, who has joined. And again, hit that subscribe button. Just hit that subscribe button and hit the like button if you're interested in keeping this conversation going. Set for Life said, what is anti-Semitism? Look, anti-Semitism has a lot of definitions. It's a very complex thing in some ways, but fundamentally, anti-Semitism is hatred against Jewish people for being Jewish, right? We'll look at that, right? And one of the things that promotes anti-Semitism are the conspiracy theories. Shout out to Farah Soda from Jerusalem. My love to Jerusalem. For Jerusalem is never ending. It's so deep, man. I love Jerusalem. That's my home, my second home, my home away from home. Shout out to Sheikh Jarrah. Shout out to Ability to Demis. Shout out to everybody in the Muslim quarter and the African quarter in particular. Shout out to all my people there. Love y'all. So look, let's keep this conversation going. Thank you, Martha. I appreciate you. Love you. As we talk about Elon Musk, we see now a broader context, right? That he's not just advancing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, he's advancing at a moment where tensions are high and violence against Jewish people is expanding. That's step one. And this isn't the only time he's done this. If you look, when he did his ban the ADL, or he didn't do it, but when he helped amplify the ban the ADL hashtag, and when he goes through and retweets anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, Elon Musk again is throwing his rocks and hiding his hands. Now, look, I am no ADL supporter or defender. The ADL has had a long history of smearing people, of misrepresenting people, of supporting all kinds of interventions into the affairs and the practices of people who are doing legitimate good work in the world, right? The ADL has attacked me. The ADL has smeared me. The ADL called for my firing from CNN. So it's not like me and the ADL are homies. But in this particular moment, a month ago, the ADL happened to be right in saying, like, Elon, yo, you tripping. And yesterday, when he promoted the anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, again, ADL was right. And it's like, Elon, you're making Jonathan Greenblatt look correct right now. Hit that like button, y'all. Thank you. Y'all making Elon Musk look like you're making Jonathan Greenblatt at the head of the ADL look like he's correct on lots of stuff. He's correct on this issue, and he's not correct. He's not incorrect all the time. If he just focused on actual anti-Semitism, he'd be fine. But when you incorporate the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism, which doesn't allow you to critique Israel, which creates such a wide range of things that basically any criticism of Israel becomes an act of anti-Semitism. As such, there's no space to have an honest conversation about the occupation of Palestine, about the siege in Gaza, about the apartheid state inside of Israel. You can't talk about any of that stuff because it violates the IHRA definition. So I understand why people don't rock with the ADL. I'm not asking you to. But at the same time, some things are anti-Semitic, and Elon Musk isn't a perfect example of this. But there's something else that happens, right? All those companies pull out, all that money's at stake. So what does Elon Musk do? Well, some people would apologize. Some people say, you know what, I messed up. But he doesn't want to do that because Elon Musk has made his money by turning Twitter, or now X, into a cesspool. He's done that by promoting free speech, by making it a space where you can be a white supremacist, by making it a space where you can be a Nazi, you can be anything you want without any resistance, without any restrictions. Now, some people say that's what the internet should be. Maybe it should be. That's up to you to decide. But what I will tell you is I don't enjoy being in a space where I can just living and I'm working in community and people are calling me all kinds of monkeys and niggas and this and this and this and this and this without any kind of framework for building a healthy, positive community. That's wild to me. So basically, he turns Twitter into a place where white supremacists find refuge. He turned Twitter into a place where Nazis openly find refuge. So he don't want to back in off of that because he's the one who let all the people back in who got banned before. He's the one who opened the door for all the crazy. So now he can't say, well, I can't speak to anti-Semitism. Or I'm sorry, he can't say, I'm going to speak to anti-Semitism. I'm going to denounce anti-Semitism. I'm going to fight anti-Semitism. He can't do that because it's bad for his business model, which is we are an open, welcome space for Nazis. Hit the like button if you agree with me. So look, he instead decides to make Goldblatt, Jonathan Greenblatt, excuse me, happy through other means. And I'm not speaking in some general sense. I mean, literally, Jonathan Greenblatt responded today being happy with something that that Elon Musk did. What did Elon Musk do? Elon Musk sends a tweet. Oh, I'm gonna pull up the tweet because I don't want to quote him wrongly because Lord knows he don't need to be misquoted because what he said was annoying and frustrating and just problematic for a gajillion reasons. So let me pull up Elon Musk's tweet. And I wish I was on my other platform so y'all could see it, but during the week we'll do that. So Elon Musk tweets, as I said earlier this week, decolonization and from the river to the sea and similar euphemisms necessarily imply genocide. Clear calls for extreme violence are against our terms of service and will result in suspension. Elon Musk. This is fascinating, my brother. This is fascinating, my brother. So saying nigga or calling me a monkey or saying that Jewish people are conspiring to control the world, all of that stuff for you is fair game. All the white supremacist and Nazi rhetoric that you allowed on your platform, that you continue to allow on your platform in defense of free speech is totally acceptable. But you can't say decolonization? You can't say river to the sea? That seems like a bizarre contradiction. That seems like an odd way to respond. So, what happens? Jonathan Greenblatt, head of the ADL, responds by saying, "This is an important and welcome move by Elon Musk. I appreciate this leadership in fighting hate." Now, look, I understand from Mr. Greenblatt's perspective why he would like that tweet because it supports his position. But for Elon Musk, it represents a kind of bizarre set of contradictions. Tracy, thank you so much. I appreciate your involvement. I appreciate your commitment to this community. I appreciate everybody who's helping build this thing. Hit that like button, y'all. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now so that we can continue to build the MLH channel, so we continue to make you part of the MLH fam. Also, hit that join button. Go over and hit join. Everything from bronze up to platinum is available. You can do that, and it helps to build this community. It helps me to do research. It helps me develop a team so that we can put original content out there. There's a lot more coming, not just lives, not just videos, but also deep dives into history, classroom sessions, lectures, all of that's coming up. So make sure y'all keep hitting that like button. Make sure y'all keep hitting that subscribe button. So here's the thing. Jonathan Greenblatt makes an interesting move that lots of people on the right make. He responds not by denouncing anti-Semitism, but by simply attacking Palestinian freedom and rights. Again, I'm going to say that again. He doesn't respond to his anti-Semitism by no longer being an anti-Semite. He continues to promote anti-Semitic theories as recently as yesterday. But he makes his opponents and his legitimate critics, like Jonathan Greenblatt, who was correct. I'm going to be very clear. Jonathan Greenblatt was completely correct in his criticism of Elon Musk. So how does he respond? He responds not by denouncing anti-Semitism, but instead by doubling down on racism by now attacking Palestinians. So he says you can't say decolonization. I can't say decolonization. So if decolonization is genocidal, if decolonization is bad, are we then to assume, Mr. Musk, that colonization is okay? I mean, he's from South Africa. Maybe that's life for him. Maybe that's the norm for him. Maybe he often identifies as African. You're a colonizer, fam. Maybe that's why he's okay with this. I don't know. Here's what I know for sure. I don't want to speak for Elon Musk's brain. I don't want to say what's in his mind. What I can say about Elon Musk, however, is that banning decolonization, saying that that's the language of genocide. That's the language of genocide. That's the language of genocide is bizarre logic. It's a Bikram yoga stretch to say that calling for decolonization is clearly and unequivocally a call for violence. Decolonization doesn't necessarily require violence. Now, I understand if you're reading Franz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth, and he says that decolonization is always a violent event. He's talking about the fact that revolutionary struggle and resistance is violent. Sure. But that's because the colonizer refuses to give something back. In my mind, and in my belief, the way to get peace in Israel Palestine is for the settlements to go away. It's for Palestinians to get full rights. It's for people throughout the diaspora to get the right of return. It's to redraw those lines, right? We don't need to pick up one gun, one missile, one grenade. We don't need anybody to die on either side if the colonizers take a step back. That's all I'm asking. That's all people are asking for. No one wants violence. No one wants war. No one wants bloodshed. No one wants anybody to be harmed. We can get justice through decolonization if people will move back those colonial settlements that are expanding in the West Bank. This doesn't seem like a hard call for people. Calling for decolonization is asking for Palestinians to get the rights that were denied to them in 1948, to get the rights that were denied them in 1967. And somehow Elon Musk, to make people happy, to make it look like you're taking leadership on anti-Semitism, you don't actually stop the anti-Semitism. You don't actually stop the fight that's happening in this cesspool known as Twitter with Jewish brothers and sisters, with Black brothers and sisters, with LGBTQ brothers and sisters. You don't stop that. You just say, well, you know what? I'll do something different. I'll play into the governing logic of the moment in many mainstream circles, which is that the way to support Jewish people is to support Israel. And the way to support Israel is to support Zionism. And the way to support Zionism is to support the oppression of Palestinian people. He said, River to the Sea is an obvious call for genocide. Now, I have a whole video on River to the Sea. Y'all can check it out on this page. Again, make sure you check that out. If you're just joining me, hit subscribe, hit like. I'd love for y'all to join and become members right now. I'd love for y'all to join right now, the family here, and be a part of what we're doing. And shout out to Brandon Stark once again, yo. It's so much love I have, man. So much appreciation, gratitude I have. A Hill, thank you. Monica Karori, thank you so much for joining the MLH fam. I love to see y'all with that bronze medal around y'all necks, man. It's a beautiful thing. So Elon Musk makes an interesting pivot. He went from being the person who said all things go to saying you can't say decolonization and you can't say river to the sea. I made a whole video about River to the Sea, breaking down its origins, talking about what it meant in the 60s with the PLO, talking about what it meant with the Likud party in 1977, talking about what it meant to Hamas in 88, but also now talking about what it means to people around the world who are calling for justice between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. It's not a call for genocide. It's not a call for hatred. River to the Sea is a call for justice. It's not a call for genocide. It's not a call for hatred. It's a call for justice. But Elon Musk doesn't care about justice. Elon Musk doesn't care about Jewish people. Elon Musk doesn't care about Palestinians. Elon Musk is a billionaire who cares about what? Money. He cares about billions. Shukran katir matar. And so he says, look, I can't afford to lose more than 8 major corporations. I've already lost too much money. I've already sunk this this thriving platform. Bassel Tiffany, thank you so much. Shukran katir. And so I'll make the ADL happy. I'll make my ideological opponents happy. And here's the problem with that. This cynical move reinforces a practice that we see too often in American politics, and not just in America, but we also see it in France, we see it in Germany, we see it in Italy. Kathy Acosta, thank you so much for the donation, for the super. the pro-Israel movement takes, or finds rather, allies. And by finds, I don't mean they go looking for them. I'm simply saying many people who are allied with the pro-Zionist movement, the pro-Israel movement, are often anti-Semites themselves. Why? Because the pro-Israel movement is augmented by people who don't care about Jewish people. They simply want their own either religious or political or economic agendas advanced. So somebody, for example, like Elon Musk, who has trafficked in anti-Semitism, is still willing to ban River to the Sea and decolonization, not because he cares about Jewish people. He should care about Jewish people. We all should care about our Jewish brothers and sisters. We should all fight anti-Semitism. But he doesn't care about that. What he cares about is saving the donors who bailed on him because he's trafficking anti-Semitism. So he's trying to play both ends against the middle. In other words, Elon Musk wants to keep the anti-Semites on Twitter or X. He wants to keep the people who use free speech as a shield to be racist and anti-Semitic and sexist and transphobic. He wants to keep those people, but he also wants to hold a political a connection with the pro-Israel lobby because he also doesn't want to lose those donors, right? So I don't want to lose the donors, so I'll just shit on Palestinians, and I don't want to lose the anti-Semites, so I'll allow them to shit on Jewish people, and I won't stop it. I'll allow them to shit on Black people, and I won't stop it. I'll allow them to shit on trans folk, and I won't stop it. So he creates a context where he can make everybody happy. And what this means is you often end up like you did at that March for Israel earlier this week, that featured not just pro-Israel voices, but you also run into people like Pastor Hagee, somebody who literally is an evangelical right-wing Christian who hates Jewish people based on his words, based on his conspiracy theories. He's an anti-Semite, but he marches for Israel. But he's not marching for Israel because he loves Israel. He's not marching for Israel because he loves Jewish people. He's not marching for Israel because he wants to create a safe haven for the Jewish folk. He's doing it because he believes, based on his own Christian evangelical eschatological fantasies, he believes that in the end of days, the Messiah will return to Israel, and that at that moment, Jews will be either be forcibly converted or killed in order for the kingdom to come down. So he himself has an anti-Semitic end of days theory. So he's holding on, he's supporting Israel not because he wants Jewish people to be okay, but because he wants a Christian outcome, an evangelical end of days outcome that supports him. And that's right, Jeremy Sirop. It's a twisted rapture theology. This is all ugly and nasty. So these right-wing evangelical preachers, man, they're not on the right side of history. They're not doing this to support Jewish people. So the evangelicals are doing it for the wrong reason. Some of the Christian Zionists are doing it for the wrong reason. Some of the Messianic Jews are doing it for the wrong reason, who in many ways are uh they're not actually Jewish. The Messianic Jews are not accepted as Jews based on halakha, based on the rabbinical determinations. They're doing some other stuff. They're not on the right side of history. And Elon Musk damn sure ain't on the right side of history. So what we just saw from Elon Musk is a perfect example of the fundamental problem, is that people in this world are deeply anti-Semitic. And instead of fighting them, oftentimes, the pro-Israel lobby will welcome them into the fold as long as they're willing to attack Palestinians at the same time, as long as they're willing to advance a certain ideology at the same time. So what is the solution, Marc Lamont Hill? What should we be doing? Wa alaikum salam, Riaz, and shukran katir for the donation. Shukran jazilan. It's going to be all fancy and proper. Trigger Tigger again. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for the 20. And I appreciate, I'm grateful to you, man. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Thank you for hitting like. I love what y'all are doing, man. Again, please hit that subscribe. Please hit that like. Please hit that join button. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is we should stand hand in hand with our Jewish brothers and sisters against all forms of anti-Semitism. We must speak out and call it out. That's what I did a month ago when I challenged Elon Musk publicly. And Elon called me out publicly. I don't know if y'all saw that on Twitter. Elon Musk called me out publicly for challenging him, saying that I was being bizarre or weird. And some of these other weirdo journalists started calling me out saying I sold out or I gave in, and that ain't it. I ain't never sold out to nobody. I ain't never given to nobody, but I have a moral consistency. I'm going to speak out against anti-Semitism. I'm also going to speak out against anti-Arab racism. I'm going to speak out against Islamophobia. I'm going to speak out against transphobia. I'm going to speak out against homophobia. I'm going to speak out against anti-Black racism. I'm going to speak out against white supremacy. I'm going to speak out against all of it because that is our moral duty. That is our calling. That is our challenge. So, and please hit the like button, y'all. Somebody said 560 people in the chat, so why only 278 likes? I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's suspicion. I don't know if we're not supposed to have that few likes. I don't know how many likes I'm supposed to get. I'm new to this. But if I'm supposed to have more likes, hit the likes, yo. I don't think it costs nothing to hit the like, family. Just hit that like button, turn this thing up a little bit. So yeah, we should stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters at all times. But we should also stand with our. We should also do a couple of things. We should do that. We also should have the intellectual and moral and political fortitude, though, to challenge dishonest, cynical, or unreasonable claims of anti-Semitism. Now, when I say unreasonable, I'm not saying that I get to tell Jewish people when they've been harmed or when they've been mistreated. That's not what I'm talking about. But saying that we can't criticize Israel, and the IHRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, trying to codify that definition, nah, we can't allow that, because then every time someone criticizes Israel, they could rightly be called anti-Semitic. We cannot accept that as a fair or reasonable outcome. That is not okay. So what we have to do then, what we must do is walk and chew gum at the same time. Call out anti-Semitism, but also challenge Israel's right-wing government. Call out anti-Semitism. Thank you, Michael Left. I appreciate you so much. Call out anti-Semitism, but also say, hey, I have a right to say that Netanyahu is leading a racist government. You have a right to call out anti-Semitism, but say that calling what Israel's doing in the Gaza Strip ethnic cleansing is not incorrect. To say that what's going on in historic Palestine is apartheid is not incorrect, and it's not anti-Semitic. To call what happened, what has happened to Palestinians for the last 75 years is not incorrect. To call it apartheid or genocide or ethnic cleansing, depending on what we're talking about. So we don't have to concede all things. We don't have to concede all things in order to stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters. This is exactly why I'm calling out Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk, I called him out for being an anti-Semite, and I'm also calling him out for advancing a criticism of the language of decolonization and river to the sea, which does deep harm to the Palestinian freedom struggle. And it reinforces the idea that Palestinians are just supposed to accept colonization. The Palestinians are just supposed to accept occupation and genocide and ethnic cleansing and all these other things. That is a ridiculous expectation for Palestinian people or anybody else. And I wish Elon Musk would be open to the conversation, but he don't care enough about the conversation, because he doesn't care about Israel or Palestine. He cares about the bottom line. He cares about money.